Hey, yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Cheap Truth YouTube channel. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Thanks again, once again, for checking in with the Cheap Truth. So on today, man, we got some action out of Florida. Jacksonville, Florida, to be exact. We have a 22-year-old black male by the name of William McNeil Jr. Now, McNeil was driving along, and he was stopped by Jacksonville police officers back in February of this year. And the Jacksonville police officer stopped him, and he was very confused as to why he was being stopped. They think he did anything wrong. And they basically said that he was driving without any headlights on, and he should have headlights on in inclement weather, which if you look at the video, which I'll show the news clip here shortly, didn't look very bad to me. It didn't look like he needed to have his headlights on, but that's what they were saying. So they said that, and also he wasn't wearing his seatbelt. So they got into a little back and forth. He ended up just kind of sitting in the car and asking for a supervisor, kept asking for a supervisor. They broke the window and in turn pretty much broke his jaw because one of the police officers punched him in his face through the window and then punched him again when he was outside the vehicle and surrounded by nothing but police. And he ended up getting arrested for resistance. So there's the body cam footage that's out. There's McNeil's footage that's out where he was recording the whole interaction. And so it's gone super viral and been a big media firestorm ever since it's been put out, man. So I'm gonna show you this news clip, and then as always, we gonna talk about it.
A man who was seen on video getting beaten during a traffic stop back in February is speaking out. Yesterday, William McNeil Jr. said he didn't do anything wrong during that stop in Jacksonville, Florida. The violent encounter caught on camera sparked outrage. Elaine Quijano has more, and a warning, a heads up here. Some of the footage you're about to see is disturbing.
Exit the vehicle now! Exit the vehicle!
There's growing fallout over this traffic stop in Jacksonville, Florida from February. After being pulled over, William McNeil Jr. took this cell phone video of an officer punching him and dragging him out of his car before arresting him. On Wednesday, McNeil spoke publicly for the first time.
I just really wanted to know, why I was getting pulled over and why I needed to step out the car when I know I didn't do nothing wrong.
McNeil later pled guilty to resisting arrest without violence and driving with a suspended license. His attorneys say that prior to this incident, he had never been arrested.
Give me your driver's license, registration, proof of insurance.
The officer's body cam footage shows McNeil repeatedly asking why he was pulled over.
I've already told you.
Why did you pull me over?
And shutting his door as an officer tells him to step out several times.
What is your reason, sir? Step out. What is your reason? Step out now.
The law is clear. A person must comply with an officer's commands, even if that person disagrees with that officer's reason for the stop.
Attorney Ben Crump represents McNeil.
You cannot justify this. You cannot condone this. The sheriff should say very publicly that this does not reflect our training, our policies, and he should immediately terminate this officer.
McNeil's attorneys say the family is considering filing a lawsuit over the stop. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office says the officer seen punching McNeil was, quote, stripped of his law enforcement authority, end quote, pending a review. But the state attorney's office has already determined that none of the officers involved violated criminal law. Nate.
I'm sure we'll hear more about this incident. Elaine, thank you.
All right, so first of all, let me just say, I think that McNeil could have handled this a little bit better. And I'm not excusing the police officers at all. I think that they were 1000% wrong in this instance. But I've always talked about self-preservation out here, man. If you want to be smart with the police and you want to litigate on the side of the road and you want to talk to them in a type of way and you want to do your own thing and you want to open the door and then close the door and then let the window up and then let their minds go to places thinking that you may be reaching for a gun, you reaching for an AR-15 or anything. They don't know. If you want to take that chance and live with the results, well, then you go right ahead. All I'm saying is I think it would be in your best bet to not do that. And I don't know what he was on. I think he was well within his right to ask for a supervisor. And the police, they weren't budging for some reason. I don't know the legality of that as far as if you ask for a supervisor, they got to. I think they have to. But these police officers, they weren't budging. So what was he trying to accomplish there? Like, you were not going to win that argument on the side of the road. You're not gonna win it with the police officers, bro. Your best bet at that point is just to comply and just be nice, man. Just even if you hate their guts, even if you think that they on bullshit, your best bet is to comply, man. I feel like, what's that saying? 90% of life is showing up. It's 90 or 95. I can't remember the quote, but 90% of, let's just go with 90. 90% of life is just showing up. I feel like 90% of life is just being a decent person and just knowing how to talk to people. And that goes for the police too. I feel like they probably turned up a little bit more than they should have, and that there should have been some more de-escalation there, but he was in the wrong too. Because all you got to do, man, is just say, "Hey, officer, how you doing?" "Oh, well, I don't see it that way. I respectfully disagree with you. So am I getting arrested? Are you going to give me a ticket? How should I proceed, officer?" And then at that point, maybe he gives you a ticket and you go on about your business. Maybe he just gives you a warning. But under no circumstance is trying to, like, acting like a little kid. That's not going to work. It's not going to work. And I've heard people make this point before about compliance versus non-compliance, and that even if we've seen instances where people have complied and things have happened to them, they've still gotten beat on, they've still gotten shot. And I'm not saying that that's incorrect. That type of stuff does happen, but this is where I look at it. I cannot guarantee that something won't happen even if you do comply, but I can damn sure guarantee that something will happen if you don't. So that's your choice. You go for it. But for me, I would rather just comply and live with the results rather than, it's just like wearing a seatbelt, right? I cannot guarantee that this seatbelt will save my life if I get in a car accident. But you know what? Research and statistics show that if you wear your seatbelt, you have a better chance of surviving the accident than you do if you don't wear the seatbelt. So which one would you choose? But even in saying that, I feel like McNeil could have done things differently and could have been better in his interaction with the police. These police officers were wrong. That guy, whoever that guy was that punched him, and apparently I just read an article where the guy who punched McNeil he actually had 3 previous complaints against him. It was like 3 or 4 complaints against him previously. So this guy is, I don't know whether he had roid rage that day or something. I don't know whether he caught his wife cheating on him or something in the bed with a black dude or something. Like, I don't know. But he doesn't need to be a police officer ever again. I believe, just like they have no-fly list for airlines, I believe that they should have a no-hire list for police officers. Maybe they already do. They should have a registry for these police officers, man. And he should never be able to be a police officer ever again, because it's clear as day that he cannot control himself. He cannot control himself. There was absolutely no reason to turn up like that and punch this guy in the face. He punched him once. He punched him through when they broke the window. Shortly after they broke the window, he punched him in his face, and then they drag him out of the car and put his hands behind his back, and then that same guy punches him again. All of that was totally unnecessary, and that was a guy just trying to prove a point. And that's what a lot of these police officers try to do. They try to prove a point. They want to prove to you how tough they are, how in charge they are. And apparently for them to do that, they got to punch you in your goddamn face. They got to punch you in the face. They got to slam you. They got to choke you. They got to put a knee on the back of your neck like they did George Floyd. They got to do all these things to prove how tough they are and to prove how in charge they are. And this is my thing, man. This is what's so frustrating about this. Oh, man. If you can't, because you'll hear a lot of people say, well, if he wouldn't have resisted, well, then this wouldn't have happened. Or if he just would have, and to a certain degree, that is true. That is true. You know, if he doesn't do any of those things that he did, maybe this doesn't happen to him. That is true. But just because he didn't comply does not give you the right to just reel off and punch him. I mean, life doesn't work that way, man. If you, let's say that somebody at work, at your job, says something that you don't like, and then you punch them, you know, pow, right in the kisser. Well, if they wouldn't have said what they said, well, then they wouldn't have gotten punched. Okay, true, but you're fired. You're fired. Like, you can't do it. Like, that's not, it don't work that way, man. And then they're up here trying to say, well, I guess he had a knife and some marijuana in the car. And of course, you know, that's their out right there, right? Like they're quick to bring that up. Well, this guy had a knife and some marijuana in the car. Like, oh my God, y'all, we got El Chapo here. Oh my God, better bring everybody in. Better bring the SWAT in. Better bring the DEA, the FBI, the CIA. Hey, what Shannon Sharp say in that video? Hey, call the Navy, call the Army, because we are killing the patient. Come on, man. Really? A knife and man, get out of here, man. Like but see, that's what they try to do, man. Whenever that's their way of trying to justify their actions. Whenever something like this happens, and they try to go into the person's history and say how much of a criminal they were, and they stole a candy bar back in the 6th grade or something, right? Like, come on, man. Then you got the police chief, this motherfucker right here. I don't know what he on, bro. I'm gonna play a couple snippets from his press conference because I honestly couldn't believe some of the things that he was saying and some of the things that was coming out of his mouth, man. Let's listen to him real fast.
Yeah, Eric. Yes, sir.
I know that he was charged with resisting arrest without violence.
Yep.
But there was, when I go back and look at the other video from the cell phone video,
yeah,
I can understand the officer punching the window out. But what I don't understand is, and I know you said that this was not ruled criminal, sucker punching the guy in the jaw.
First of all, let me stop you. Not a sucker punch. I'm not excusing that administratively. I'm gonna say that to you one more time. I'm not excusing that administratively. There are things that we definitely need to look at, but the context of this video should tell you everything you need to know.
Not a sucker punch, huh? So I guess the same video that we all seen together, that wasn't a sucker punch. Stephen A. got a saying, man, if it looked like a duck and it quacked like a duck, it ain't a damn mongoose. So that was 1,022.22% a sucker punch, and everybody saw it, whether it was a sucker punch or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, why does the labeling matter? It was a punch. If it was a sucker punch, if it was a packer punch, if it was Hawaiian punch, it was a punch that shouldn't have happened. So I don't know what this guy's talking about. Is it me, or does this guy kind of remind me of John Marshall Jones, man? He kind of looks like John Marshall Jones, the guy who played in The Smart Guy. He was his dad. So irrelevant here, but yeah, let's continue.
Well, I take it. It looks like it's a sucker punch because he's looking straight and you see this.
Right.
Okay, and then you see them pull him out, and then you see a couple of punches to the face. Now, again, I understand breaking the window, but he charged him with resisting arrest without violence. So I saw a lot of violence. I think the public saw a lot of violence against somebody that was not violent.
Well, first of all, Eric, don't try to talk the public into what they saw. They just saw the same video as you saw. So what I'm saying is that it is what it is. This is the information that I want to share with the public in context without a short clip. It's very important to do that because it provides a lot of information to the public.
And you brought up
it's important, let me finish. It's important for the people to know that you're not allowed to resist a police officer when he's doing his lawful duties. It's been dealt with in several different times. You don't resist when you're doing your lawful duties. You don't deserve to get violated, but you deserve to get what's necessary to get you under control and get you and take you into custody. So
man, we gotta drop a bomb or something for that one because this guy's cooking. He hit the nail on the head with that one. The only violent people in this video are the police officers. So he kind of gets back into a corner here and he's trying to fight his way out. And he says something here. He says, well, that doesn't mean you don't get to resist the police officers, right? That doesn't mean that you deserve to get violated. Well, that's exactly what happened here. He got violated. 100% agree.
I'll leave there. I'll go with. Go ahead.
One of the
Jake.
discrepancies people were seeing between the police report and what we saw in the video, and even what we saw in that video, was the allegation that McNeil had reached down for the knife. That was in the police report. But
Where'd you see? What police report did you see that in?
In the arrest report for McNeil, that was stated that the officer saw him, reach for the knife that was on the floorboard. The video that was posted to social media, and even in there, I couldn't see any clear indication of that. I mean, do you see that when you're watching this?
No,
this
actually,
video?
I don't see where his hands are. I can't assume, Jake. No one can assume. We operate off facts and facts alone. I can't make assumption. All I can go by when I read those things is what's stated in the report. I'm not saying whether it's true or whether it's not. I'm saying no one sees his hands at that point. He says, put your hands up, then his hands come up. But it was after the strike to the face. Like I said, again, I'm not trying this case in front of the public. I'm trying to give the public the information in context of what.
All right, man. Enough of this guy. No mas. He just flat out lied right there. He's talking about they couldn't see his hands. You can clearly see in the video that they can see his hands. They bust the whole window open. And they're staring right at him. They can clearly see his hands. He's up here talking about, well, they finally saw his hands after he got punched. No. They clearly saw what was going on with him after they after they broke the window. They could clearly see him. There were police officers on both sides of the vehicle. They could clearly see what was going on, and he wasn't reaching for anything. This is just their way. See, this is what they do, and this is why people don't respect the police, man, because they be lying. They be lying, man. Like, bruh, just come out and just own this shit, dog. Own it. Like, people will respect you more if you just own it, man. If you got to come out and you have to denounce this type of behavior. This is not how we act at the Jacksonville Police Department, in the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, man. We do not condone this behavior. We do not condone this type of police activity at all, man. And we will exhaust all our resources doing our investigation to make sure that justice is served. Like, you got to come out and own it, bro. Like, we can clearly see on the camera, bro. It's not that hard. It's not that hard, man. This guy was innocent. He didn't deserve to be punched. The police officer punched him for no reason. Not once, but twice. Fire the motherfucker and get on with it. Like, bruh, it's not that difficult. But see, they try to do all this covering up, and then they lie on the police report, and they try to fabricate the story, and then they're up here trying to say, well, he had a knife and he had marijuana, like he's some, I don't know, man, some drug dealer or something. Like, bruh, it's cut and dry, man. Fire these guys. And go on about your business. And he's going to get, I think he's going to get a nice chunk of change, man, because he was right in this incident. Thank God that he was able to record this himself, man, because if you look at the body camera, at least from what I can see, you can't really see the punches happen. Like, you can see that there was some type of altercation and that they threw him to the ground, but it's clear as day in that dash cam or phone camera or whatever he was using to record McNeil, that he got punched in his face. So thank God that he was recording and that it got uploaded. Like, just thank God for these video cameras, man. So anyway, man, y'all let me know what you think about this. Leave a comment down in the comment section below. Drop a like on this video before you leave, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, man. So as always, count your blessings, not your problems. I'm out. Peace.